handheld console has finally received its official, true successor, and that is the Odin 3. The unit I currently have in my hands is an engineering sample, so there's a possibility it might differ slightly from the version that will eventually be released to the public. But let's take a quick look and get an early preview. As I go through the unboxing process, you can also check out its specifications. It comes equipped with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 for Galaxy, which is essentially the Snapdragon. This 8 Gen 2 processor begins at $21.99. It boasts configurations ranging from 8 GB plus 128 GB up to a substantial 24 GB plus 1 TB memory setup. The unit I'm holding is white, but other colors are also available. Feel free to check the screen to see which color appeals to you most. A USB-C to USB-C cable is also included. Observe this white variant I'm holding. This year has truly become a fiercely contested arena for high-performance Android handheld gaming devices, with numerous manufacturers launching their unique iterations. Consequently, what distinguishes this particular model from the Odin 2? Additionally, in this episode, I will undertake a comprehensive comparison of this device with other leading high-performance handhelds. As for the display, we can discern at its perimeter the edge of the screen is gracefully curved, giving it a remarkably smooth and seamless feel. This design evokes a sense of nostalgia, reminiscent of the subtly curved edges found on older models like the iPhone 8, iPhone 6, and iPhone 6 Plus. The entire device has been noticeably slimmed down, presenting a much narrower profile when compared to its predecessor, the Odin 2. This particular screen design approach is referred to as a bezel-less design. It feels incredibly smooth and rounded when held in your hand. Let's first examine its weight. The device itself weighs 388 grams. Now let's compare that to the previous generation, the Odin 2, which weighed 429 grams. With the tempered glass screen protector applied, the Odin 2 came in at approximately 420 grams. Now, the Odin 3, when contrasted with the Odin 2, definitely boasts a reduced body weight. That's a great improvement. After these past 2 years of refinement, what other enhancements does it offer? As I just noted, regarding its ergonomic grip, you'll observe numerous anti-slip textures integrated into the handle. The M1 and M2 customizable back buttons on the reverse side are still included. These have also been carefully preserved. Similarly, for the primary shoulder buttons, specifically the L1 and L2 triggers, along with the other shoulder buttons, anti-slip textures have been incorporated. In the joystick section, the entire joystick surface features these anti-slip patterns. Furthermore, these joysticks have now been upgraded to the larger Hall effect versions, providing enhanced precision and responsiveness. Now, regarding the joysticks. Originally, these were Hall effect joysticks, which offered a broader range of movement. The directional buttons, or D-pad, maintain the exact same excellent tactile response as before, employing a dome switch designed for that familiar feel. On the left side of the screen, you'll find a microphone, and 2 speakers are prominently placed directly on the front panel. As for the A, B, X, Y buttons, the buttons are resin-coated, and their tactile feel differs from the Odin 2's, as they are significantly quieter. Let's take a listen to the Odin 2. And now, let's take a moment to really listen to the Odin 3. Moreover, the buttons have been made larger. On the device's top, you'll find a power fingerprint combo button, a power indicator light, and the volume up and down controls. The dedicated secondary video output port, which was present on the Odin 2, has been eliminated from this model. Instead, you can now conveniently utilize the bottom-mounted USB-C port for direct video output. Looking at the left side, we find the TF card slot and the 3.5mm headphone jack. The side lights, however, are no longer present. The Odin 2 originally featured light strips on both sides, which is quite regrettable. I always considered that a distinctive mark of the Odin series. Next, let's examine the accessories. It includes a TPU protective case. Once you slip it on, this unit was meticulously molded from the original device, ensuring a flawless fit. All the holes and ports, including the rear air intake, are perfectly aligned. The screen has been upgraded to a 2.5D curved edge. Now, some users might express concern about applying a screen protector to such a curved display, but the manufacturer does in fact provide an official screen protector. For example, this one here. It aligns perfectly when placed atop the screen. However, it doesn't extend to cover the curved edges on all 4 sides, appearing slightly smaller. Yet this is a significant improvement compared to only covering the central display area. Now let's arrange it alongside other handheld consoles to visually compare their dimensions. At the base, we have the Retroid Pocket 4 Pro. They are quite similar in overall size, and their thickness is also comparable. It's not much bigger when placed next to a Switch Lite. You can see that for yourself. So, that concludes our detailed look at its physical appearance. On a scale of 10, what rating would you assign it? This time around, the vibration mechanism has been upgraded to a linear vibrator. Previously, it utilized a standard rotor motor, making this new haptic feedback system considerably more pleasant. Additionally, the base of the joystick features It features customizable RGB lighting effects, a design choice they wisely retained. The operating system is a native Android 15, equipped with its own distinct launcher front-end. Nevertheless, this front-end is quite streamlined, offering a relatively limited array of functionalities. Now let's take a moment to experience its vibration. Let's listen to its vibration. The performance of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 is incredibly powerful. We can see its benchmark score has reached 1.7 million. With this processor and active cooling, it can unleash its full potential. Looking at the benchmark score alone, it's double the performance of the last gen Odin 2. So the 2-year wait for this performance boost was worth it. The screen has also been upgraded, of course, to a 120 Hz high refresh rate. The display boasts a 120 Hz high refresh rate. Now let's also examine the screen's dimming capabilities. At around 30% brightness, it's PWM dimming. At higher brightness, it's DC light dimming. The Odin 2's sound quality was pretty good. Let's see how the Odin 3 sounds. Hey, I honestly can't distinguish any difference when comparing it to the Odin 2, which likely means they've reverted to incorporating those exact two speakers from the Odin 2. Now, let's proceed to utilize a PC emulator to thoroughly assess its frame rate performance while executing PC games. You'll find the frame rate displayed at the bottom of the screen, so please pay close attention to it, as I will be looking at it too. This is Resident Evil 7, running directly on the device. Previously, on the Odin 2 with its Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, the frame rate was stuck around the mid-30s. But now, with the significant performance upgrade of the 8 Gen 2, we can expect a much smoother and higher frame rate for this game. Now, it should be able to consistently maintain a very stable 60 frames per second. Don't you agree? Yeah, it can definitely maintain a consistent 60 frames per second. It truly can. The frame rate remains notably stable, fluctuating between 55 and approximately 65 or 66 frames per second. We've been actively using it for a considerable period, and it's clear that it's consuming a substantial amount of power. The Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 is already drawing more than 10 watts. With it operating at such a high level, With such high power consumption, will it become uncomfortably hot to hold? Let's use our specialized temperature testing device to ascertain. The primary area of heat concentration is situated on the left portion of the screen, registering approximately 37 degrees Celsius. Furthermore, the ribbon cable vicinity on the right side of the screen maintains a temperature of around 30 degrees Celsius. Now, let's proceed to examine the rear of the device, the hairband. The temperature is around 35 degrees Celsius. The grip measures approximately 29 degrees, and this specific area here is also about 29 degrees. My own body temperature is 37 degrees, which essentially means you won't be able to sense any significant heat from the device. Now, let's proceed to gauge the fan's noise level. The ambient noise in this environment registers at roughly 42 decibels. Let's turn the fan speed to its maximum setting. With the fan at max, we see it's around 50 decibels. The noise level with the fan at full speed is still acceptable. Let's try the WIIU emulator. Wow, the black bezels on this screen are incredibly well managed. Just look at it. The sense of immersion feels incredibly strong. For games of this kind, the colors are particularly bright and vivid. Since it utilizes an OLED display, the visual effect is significantly enhanced. Okay, let's get into the action. This specific viewpoint appears to have its frame rate capped at a consistent value, suggesting a fixed rendering during gameplay and is probably intentionally locked. The 8 Gen 2 absolutely shines, effortlessly handling this game. Its performance is incredibly robust and more than sufficient for the task. This, for example, is Link's Awakening. I'm truly impressed by its capabilities. And here we have Super Mario 3D World. The device's performance is more than capable of handling this game without any issues whatsoever. Hey, the Wii U emulator has really come a long way in terms of optimization. Initially, there were persistent issues with audio glitches and significant frame rate drops, but now it operates remarkably smoothly, delivering a much improved and enjoyable experience. Let's pick an Android game to play. I'm a little hesitant to play Delta Force on a computer, as I've heard rumors of it scanning hard drives. So, why don't we try playing it on a mobile phone or perhaps a handheld gaming device? I've already adjusted the graphic settings to medium quality with an extreme frame rate if you pull it open from the side. Subsequently, you can customize the button assignments, and the display can then be seamlessly mirrored with great fluidity, ensuring a very smooth experience. Ambush. Alright, let's go ahead and stream to my PC right now to evaluate its latency. We'll examine both the average network latency and the average decoding time. The network latency is coming in at approximately 5 milliseconds, while the decoding time is hovering around 3 milliseconds. This is especially handy for smooth streaming, allowing you to seamlessly play games at 120 frames per second. And yes, we'll certainly take a look at some PS3 titles as well. The Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 handles these tasks effortlessly, with absolutely no performance issues. For graphics, it's running at 4x native resolution, without any frequency reduction or the use of cheat codes or anything like that. With this fourfold increase in resolution, the clarity has significantly improved, making everything much crisper. Let's use a special move and see if the top left corner turns red. It is extremely stable, consistently maintaining a solid 60 frames per second. Now let's take another look at Valkyrie profile. The graphics are set to 4x native resolution, with absolutely no downclocking whatsoever. Please pay close attention to whether the top right corner turns red. I'm just running around casually here, and the frame rate remains completely unchanged, holding rock steady at 60 frames per second. There's no stuttering, and as we can observe, all the shadows are clearly present. Let's examine it more closely. Typically, transitioning between scenes would cause a dip in frame rate, but this device handles it without any such drops. This truly demonstrates its robust performance, which in turn vastly enhances its gaming capabilities across a wide array of titles. This means all kinds of games run smoothly, running at a solid 60 frames per second. So, how do you feel about the Odin 3 after waiting 2 years for its release? Let's now proceed to disassemble it and take a closer look at its internal components. Upon opening it, we discover a very well organized interior. The battery capacity is 8000 mAh, and it's likely capable of supporting up to 60 watts of power delivery. Here's the cooling fan, featuring extremely closely packed fins. The heat dissipation fins are also quite dense, accompanied by 2 Hall effect trigger boards. These are the sound chambers for the left and right speakers. This black component is notably large indeed. What are your thoughts on the internal build quality of this device? Let's wrap things up with a summary. The Odin 3, following a 2-year period of anticipation and waiting. It has seen significant enhancements across the board, with performance doubling, as we've observed. The overall aesthetic has also been improved, now appearing more appealing and streamlined. Furthermore, the grip, including added anti-slip textures, has been thoughtfully incorporated. Now let's address its drawbacks. The primary concern lies with its front end. I believe considerably more attention and effort should be dedicated to improving this aspect, into making it better. And I personally feel there's a downside. Why did they get rid of the lighting effects? That was quite a recognizable aspect. We listened to its sound quality earlier, which is identical to the Odin 2, and it's still rather good. The screen was upgraded from 60 Hz to 120 Hz, and the previous black borders have also been eliminated. Is there anything else you wish to inquire about? please feel free to drop a comment down below as well. So, that concludes our video for today. If you found this video enjoyable and helpful, please hit that like button, share it with your friends, and make sure to subscribe to support us. I sincerely wish you all much happiness and joy every single day.